Moodle can help teachers organize their materials so that students can move through the online material at their own pace, go back or recurse and review when necessary, or skip ahead to other links on the page. So at this point, we say goodbye to those students who are bored in class because the teacher is controlling the pace. Okay, at this point, we reach out to the students within the class who don't have such a good grip on the vocabulary, whose grammar level for handling the material may not be as strong as others. This Moodle environment is available both on the school campus and also can be accessed from the students' homes. Now then, there's a newer version of Moodle coming out. This is all based on Moodle 1.9. Moodle 2.0 will have, you know, an iPhone application so that you can really take advantage of subway time and bus time, right? But this is all based on Moodle 1.9. So yeah, so the typical class would be, you get the, you know, the video segment of the day, introduce it, you know, get the students rolling, put them on the computers, and then they spend as much time as they need. And this would be an example of what they would see. And this was from my first class. They would have like a short video segment. They would have an MP3 file, which was the same as the video, but just the audio, but it was slowed down. The SE refers to slower English. I think Audacity allows you to, that's the free audio download platform, allows you to, you know, elongate an audio segment by inserting really tiny bits of silence within an audio file. So instead of an audio file being 40 seconds long, you can make it 50 seconds long. How many of you have listened to the VOA Special English? Sean, you raise your hand. Yes, you know they speak slower. And now for the news in Special English. My name is Sean Clanky. Today, Professor Goetz from Hokusei Gakuen shall speak about Moodle. Okay, that's just an example. Thank you, Sean. You can do that because you get these videos, you know, from movies or something, and the actors are not there to put on a program for English learners. They're there to put on the show to get them in for an Oscar, an Academy Award. All right, but with audio engineering software, you can change their speed to something slower. And so that, and Moodle can link to audio files and movie files. The vocabulary could be a matching or it could be a close. And then we get to the point where we might make a step from product to process-oriented learning. So far, this is all very much product-oriented learning. We haven't really broken on through to the other side. You get questions from a particular scene. All right. Well, maybe I've gotten ahead of myself, but so far I've talked about, yeah, they get to a particular scene, we finish up, go back a little bit. Yeah, they go back, answer questions in an assignment, and that is something that the teacher can see and the student can see. Moodle has another feature called the forum. Let's say the student, you know, gets a good grade on their assignment and the teacher gave some comments about the grammar and it's now corrected and good. At that point, the student could take that same answer and post it into a forum within the Moodle so that other classmates could see it and read it and think about it and respond to it. And at that point, we start crossing over from product-oriented learning to process-oriented learning, where there may not be a discussion of hands going up in the classroom and people sharing their ideas here and other people disagreeing with their ideas over there, but they could do it online. And that's a step forward for a lot of students. That's a step forward. I've done some volunteer work in elementary schools here in Sapporo, and I can tell you in grades 1, 2, and 3, you see a lot of that. A lot of kids just, volunteering information, speaking what's inside their head, disagreeing with their friends and learning how to do so politely. But once they get into, the upper grades, 4, 5, and 6, junior high, senior high, it's just a distant memory, and that's really too bad. We can kickstart this process in our university classrooms in a polite way that's respective of our students' recent educational experiences. By taking their good answers from their assignments, moving them over into a forum, and asking them, well, could you please not just post what you said, but read what your friend said, and say a few words. For a lot of students, that's asking a lot, and for some, it's asking too much. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, how Moodle can move students from a product-oriented experience to a process-oriented classroom. And it doesn't have to be just with foreign languages. It can be with anything. Now then, shift gears a bit. So far I've talked about using Moodle as a lone teacher with a class. But Moodle can be used program-wide. One of the first questions to be asked is if Moodle is capable to be used to give a placement test for a group of entering students. And the answer is yes. So at this point we're really going from something very focused in particular to something very different. A university administrator might want to know if Moodle can be used to give like a language placement test, an English placement test to all incoming freshmen. And the answer is yes, and remember that Moodle is free, and you make your own test. Be smart. You can save a lot of money. You don't have to use subscription services, which, by the way, can be expensive. Moodle includes the ability for testing, and there are a couple of choices. The Moodle quiz module and the hot potatoes multiple choice format that's also available within Moodle. As I said before, hot potatoes is a bit older than Moodle, so a lot of Moodle users came to Moodle because they were already hot potatoes users. So the big question is, between the two testing options, which one is the best? Which one's more stable? Do they freeze up during a test? Does it make a difference if you use the Mac or if you use Windows? Etc. What kind of browser? Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, or what the school provides, which is usually Internet Explorer. To test this question, both Windows and Mac platforms were used with Firefox and Internet Explorer. And for those of you who are a little sleepy, here's the spoiler. Moodle won out, but not by much. Okay. The goal was to show a mosaic of Moodle's and hot potatoes' respective strengths and relative shortfalls within what I'd call a relatively high-stakes environment. When you're giving a placement test, it's often during orientation week, and you do not have free time. This is from 1 o'clock to 2:30 in this particular language lab. You can give a test. And then after that, you got another group coming in and another group coming in. And you just cannot afford any mistakes. So very much we're out of the classroom. We're now at like the administrative level. Adaptability. This was approached with respect to the following features. Adaptability to local assessment environments, placement testing, review quizzing, exam, or final testing. Well, the main point was, if Moodle can work well in a placement test environment, it'll do very well with review quizzing and final exam testing. Variety and performance of media plugins. Already we saw an example in a closed exercise of a hot potatoes quiz showing up very well with a JPEG. Stability across browsers and ease of use for who? The test taker, the student. Is it confusing? The proctor, the person watching the students in the room. Is there extra work to do? And the test writer, the guy like Sean, who loves to write English tests. Getting the test from a text file and into a hot potatoes or Moodle's format, well, how much extra time is that? See, that's where a lot of people think, oh, this is such a great idea, it's such a great idea. And then they figure out how many hours it can take to transfer the test from text file form, into an online environment. We lose a lot of people. So the quiz platforms used for this placement test was multiple choice. Quiz platforms for both Moodle and Hot Potatoes include multiple choice, crossword, sentence, jumble, matching, and the like. Moodle matches with Hot Potatoes in all aspects except with crossword puzzles. I might be corrected here. I think somebody somewhere in the world figured out how to make Moodle do crossword puzzles. So yeah, we can clap our hands for that one. As for drafting an activity, both require several different layers to design the desired end effect. Both are equal in once that the writer gets the hang of it. It's not so hard, really, to author a quiz. Adaptability to local assessment environments. Whoops, there we go. Yes. Both are fully pliable to this end. Test availability, scoring, test locality, time limits. You can protect your tests very easily by requiring students to enter a password before doing a test, and that can be unveiled just by writing it on the board before everyone starts. Both offer excellent control for feedback while you're doing a test. If it's more of a review test, if you click something wrong, if you get a happy face saying, why don't you think and try again? Or if you click and get something right, you can be rewarded with a small icon that says, really good. But of course, in a placement test, you really don't want that, so you can turn those options off. The variety and performance of media plugins, stability across browsers is very important. Both offer the same with media plugin delivery options, text, JPEG, audio, and video. Java scripting within Internet Explorer has been problematic with Hot Potatoes. On occasion, media links either don't show up or appear sloppily. Solution: use a different browser if possible. For the overall ease of use for the test writer,